Welcome back, everybody. David Shepard on the Infinity Sports Network, border to border and coast to coast across North America, 300 plus markets. We are joined by a WNBA legend. That is not hyperbole, folks. We are joined by, of course, Phoenix Mercury guard Diana Taurasi. Diana, first and foremost, it's such a pleasure to have you on our platform. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. We got a double overtime win last night, so breakfast and coffee tasted really nice this morning.
Yeah, having a 20 point, 7 rebounds, 7 assist
Yeah.
effort certainly goes a long way too, Diana. So listen, you joined with Santa Fe and Regeneron. We appreciate someone of your stature being so open about your journey when it comes to moderate to severe eczema. What made you specifically decide to partner up with Santa Fe and Regeneron?
Well, like you said, Santa Fe and Regeneron, and working with Dupixent, it's something that I battled, going into college, severe to moderate eczema, which, affects millions across the country. And, I did the whole runaround with the creams, the lotions, the potions, the steroids. And I just was always in discomfort. I had red, itchy skin. Um, and playing basketball, it's not like you could hide it. You always had a jersey on. And when I would take that shooting shirt off and I would look down, I felt like I was on top of the world when I was playing basketball. And then I would look down and, I was just uncomfortable. And, obviously now partnering with Dupilumab, it's just as simple as having clear skin. And my day to day activities have changed where, it's just made everything a little bit smoother, especially my skin, which is the most important part.
No, absolutely. And again, we are joined on the Infinity Sports Network by WNBA legend Diana Taurasi. So, Diana, you did allude to this to some degree in how you described living with it. What would be your advice for others
Mhm.
that are tuning in and seeing someone of your stature having dealt with this for most of your life to make their lives easier?
Well, there's nothing like something you can um, really make sure that you get all the information. You got to show up ad.com and get all the information, stories that are like your stories of millions of people, and sit down with your dermatologist and really get together a plan that works best for you. And Dupixent was something that was on the table, and now it's just part of my you know routine. As an adult, and you know, the day-to-day things that I would take for granted, going to the pool and then having to put the creams on and the lotions. And if anyone knows, that has eczema, the weather, there's always all these things on your mind instead of just enjoying the moment. And, Dupixent's giving me that clear skin and clear mind, really.
Absolutely. Again, we are joined by WNBA legend Diana Taurasi. Speaking of having a clear mind, I don't think even the biggest Diana Taurasi fan 20 years ago, when you were drafted #1 overall, would have said the month you turned 42, you were dropping 31 points in less than 30 minutes. So listen, that's surreal to me. LeBron James, he's not even in that stratosphere right now, being just 39 years old. And so I say that, Diana, to say this.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's easier to get on top than it is to stay on top for 20 plus years in the highest league when it comes to basketball in terms
Hmm.
of women in this world. How
Yeah.
do you make it look so easy?
It's not easy. That's probably the thing that's the most difficult is, I've taken pride and I've really leaned into the off season and making sure that everything I do in my life is to be on the court at the highest level. Um, and as you get older, it gets harder. The work and play curve really changes, and the work behind the scenes is something that I've really enjoyed. It's almost a battle within a battle, and when the season starts, it's really that's the easy part. When you show it to an arena and there's 12,000 people, either they're on your side or they're not on your side. It's easy to get up for those days. It's the days when you have to prepare, and you got to prepare the next day, and there's no game on the calendar for 3 or 4 months. Um, those are the days that I actually take the most pride in.
So WNBA, when they talk about anybody that has suited up for that league, I don't think you can take more pride in someone like your career. You talk about being a three-time WNBA champion, a two-time WNBA Finals MVP,
Hmm.
10-time All NBA first team, obviously a regular season MVP, not to mention maybe the greatest college player of all time. But we can spend the whole other show on that alone. On
Yeah,
your
that's
on
a
your
different
immature.
topic, huh?
Sure, sure. I mean, Diane, like when I host a show,
Yeah,
on a weekly basis here on the Infinity Sports Network, the conversation always gets brought up, who is the women's GOAT? And a lot of people will say you, some people will say Maya Moore, some people will say Cheryl Miller. I'm not going to ask you that particular question because I know you're going to take the high road and be humble, but I do have this to ask you.
yeah.
Most players your age are long retired. What
Mhm.
makes you, to this day, knowing everything that you've accomplished, not to mention 5 gold medals for God's sakes, what makes you as motivated now as you were 20 years ago? Because it doesn't make sense to me.
This might sound cliche. I still love it. I still love the competition. I still love, when that jump ball happens and someone touches me, I'm like, oh, you want that? Oh, that's what we're doing tonight. I still have all that. That little fire still burns in me every time I touch the court. And, I still feel like I can evolve. I think the game almost has become like chess, where obviously physically, no matter what, no matter how much training you do, that changes as you get older. But at the same time, your mind can change too. And I've tried to work on my mind as much as I have on my body, um, to use that experience to think quicker, identify patterns quicker in a game, knowing what the other team is trying to do before they even do it, um, being a step ahead. All those things, um, I've really, really have enjoyed.
No, absolutely. And we really enjoy having Diana Taurasi on the Infinity Sports Network, heard border to border and coast to coast across North America, 300 plus markets across this wonderful continent. Now, I know it's speculation at this point, nothing is confirmed, but it is more than likely you are going to be representing Team USA for your record 6th time at the Summer Olympics, this time, obviously, in Paris in 2024. Just speak to that honor of what it means to be
Yeah.
one of 12 women selected to play for Team USA, if everything goes according to plan, of course.
Yeah, I mean, putting that there's nothing like putting that jersey on. Obviously, I played for UConn, and that jersey alone means so much in women's basketball. I've worn the Phoenix Mercury jersey for 20 years, and knowing uh, how the fans here just love our team and the culture we've built here. But when you put on the red, white, and blue, that's for everything. That's for everyone who loves the game, commentates about the game, talks about the game, plays at the YMCA. And we take great pride in going to the Olympics and making sure we represent everyone, the right way. And there's only one goal when you go there. It's not to be the best player, to score the most points, it's to win a gold medal. And I think that message is very, very clear when you join this team. And that's been the beauty about it.
Diana, you're not going to like this, but the more I listen to you, the more I hear Gino Auriemma. If I'm being completely
Wow.
honest, I
Thank
know, yeah, I
I guess the beauty is when the student becomes the teacher. And I think that um, shows what kind of teacher he's been to all of us. I know a lot of people obviously know him as a great coach, but more than anything, he's a great mentor. He teaches you how to do things the right way, how to treat your teammates, how to treat the people around you. I didn't know what working hard was before I got to Connecticut. I had no clue. I just thought, go out there, play a little bit, this and that. And I got to Connecticut and I'm like, this is the real work. This is how you really play basketball.
it's one of the most storied programs in the history of basketball. Many people will argue which the ultimate blue blood. Obviously, there is no comparing what UConn women's basketball has done. Many people will say you are the face of that program.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back at your time there, I know there's a lot of memories you have of Gino Auriemma and the relationship that you have now had for 20 plus years. And I have seen him on your wonderful simulcast with Sue Bird, and you do a great
Yeah.
job with that. It's great to see you get in the media game. I
Thank
think
you.
it's long overdue because I just think you're a natural at this. But with that being said, the big story right now in sports, Diana, is the
Hmm.
potential of Dan or Danny, whatever he wants to go by these days, going to the Los Angeles Lakers. So from a UConn perspective,
Hmm.
I know you want to see him stay, but if he goes to the Lakers, how do you see that playing out with LeBron and AD?
It's such a catch-22 for me. Obviously, I want him to stay with UConn. What he's been able to do there, he has brought the grit, the grind that Connecticut is known for. When you go there, that state just personifies hardworking people that are loyal. And I think Danny represents all of that, and his teams play that way. And he's brought a different way of, uh, you know, playing basketball, and it's been pretty pretty eye-opening, I think, to the college coaches and other systems where they need to, up their game. And then on the other side, I'm a Laker fan. So I'm like, please come. And, I think it'd be wonderful. I think sometimes you need that injection of energy and that competitiveness And, you know, no matter what, as you get older, those edges get a little dull. Danny Hurley is not dull. That guy is going to come in like a torpedo. And I think as an older player, you feel that energy and it's refreshing. And if he does get to the Lakers, I think LeBron and AD will feel that energy.
Absolutely. And again, we are joined by WNBA legend and Phoenix Mercury guard Diana Taurasi here on the Infinity Sports Network. Diana, I got two more for you.
Hmm.
You took some unfair backlash when you made it very clear that you were impressed with Caitlin Clark's game, but the reality was this is the WNBA, and there is a
Hmm.
quickness and a speed and a physicality component that you cannot practice for when you were in
Yeah.
college. There's levels to this. Turns out
Yes.
you were right. You were right. And but with that being said, you're also fair-minded and objective, and you are such an ambassador for the sport. When you look at what Caitlin Clark has done, 14th
Hmm.
in scoring, fourth in assists per game. Obviously, she set a record, a rookie record, 7 made threes. How
Yeah.
would you assess her 12-game performance so far?
Oh, she just gets better every game. Um, and what I mentioned a couple months ago, it was from going through it personally. It was from seeing other great college players trans transitioning into the WNBA and hearing their stories. Um, but what she's been able to do just in the first month, I mean, she's played professional basketball for a month. Give the kid a break. She's only going to get better. She's only going to settle in and feel more comfortable game after game. There is something to be said about being comfortable with your surroundings. When you spend 4 years in college, everything's comfortable. The security guards, the coaches, your friends, like everything is yours. It's catered to you. When you get to the WNBA, everything's new. A new city, new coaches, new players you're playing against. Everything is new and it's sensory overload at some point, and you get used to that. And once you settle in, that's when your skill and your greatness starts to take over. And sure enough, it's going to happen. It's going to happen for a lot of these rookies and second year and third year players. You see it across the league.
Absolutely. You have the quote of the century, by the way. I'm with the OG, not the IG.
One with the
I thought
OGs.
that,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to patent that, Diana. Just again, we are joined by WNBA legend Diana Taurasi. Very lastly, you
Hmm.
have a wonderful journey on and off the court. You
Yeah.
have done so much to make aware of what eczema really is. Being a
Yeah.
public figure, you've helped countless of people. If there's anything more you can offer in terms of the challenges that have come with eczema and then what you have done to help inspire people ultimately be advocates for themselves.
Yeah, if you're struggling with eczema, go to showupad.com, and there's millions of stories that you can relate to. And I think that sometimes when you can hear the story that you're going through, then you can be proactive about what you want to do. And with eczema, it's the same. It's something that you can live with your whole life, and really be unsure of how to attack your symptoms. And I think Dupixent is giving me clear skin, and that just being comfortable with myself, which is something that's gone a long way.
Diana, we cannot thank you enough for your time. You were such a pro on and off the court. I hope you play for another 10 years. I don't know if that's in the cards, but
Yeah.
continue to stay blessed, stay healthy, and we look
Thank
forward to
you.
catching up with you sometime down the road, Diana. Thank you so much for your
Absolutely.
time.
I appreciate it.